Yo, nation, what's up? How are y'all doing? Am I 5x5? Can y'all please let a brother know if he is 5x5 here before we get started? Am I 5x5? Can y'all? Oh, I'm 5x5. Domestic gangsters in the house. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. I'm trying to minimize the chat here. Sorry, give me just a second. We're running late because we were actually talking, believe it or not, prepping backstage. It feels good to be back. I feel like I'm back in the saddle, son. We have not had power here at the Ponderosa for the last few days. And then it was kind of on and off. You know what I mean? Where you'll have it and then it'll flicker. And so it feels good to be back on the grid officially. Carmen Del Rio is in the house. Philly Flash. Klinger, how are you doing? Big Red. I bet you Big Red was the first moderator in there. I don't know this for sure, but I bet you Big Red beat everybody. Prepper Brian Keith, how are you doing, sir? So yeah, sorry about, the automated premieres past few days. Thank you for packing the premieres out nonetheless. You guys are awesome. I did go back and I went through the chat and everything. I'm fired for being late, Cynthia. Let me tell you, Cynthia, I actually accidentally set it up for 10 minutes after 9. I don't even know how it happened. So we just talked prepping backstage. The Copper Goat. It was Scarlett. Scarlett's sexy. Isn't she domestic? I meant to bring that up. Scarlett is sexy. Not the whole robot, just the name Scarlett. You know what I mean? CC, how are you doing? Joyce, Joanne, House of Prep. What's up, brother? So yeah, thank you for subbing to the backup channel also while we are thanking the backup history channel. It should be linked down below, but you guys, I mean, it's off the charts over there. We've gained, and it's a backup channel, guys. We've gained, I don't know, I think we're up to 1,300 subs over there in the past couple of days. So thank you for that. This upcoming week, we're going to be talking about the Fuhrer bunker for anybody that's into World War II. Cinderella's in the house. Cat Lady Prepper. And I was telling people over there, and then we're going to get to the featured guests, yes, plural, tonight, that I need a cheap Goodwill blazer. The next time I get to the Goodwill, I don't want to spend the money on a real blazer. I'm going to get me a cheap Goodwill blazer that they done pulled off of a deceased individual or something. I get it for like $10. So I can look official when I'm up there doing the history deal. I just want to show you what I'm rolling with tonight, guys. Mean Bean, and we don't know how long it's going to go down, so I got a Red Bull here too. But anyway, the first guest tonight is 6-shooter Homestead and prepping. Look, I can't believe he's not been on the show already. This guy's been following me over here for a long time and showing love. So if you don't mind, I would love to get this guy to 1,000 subscribers. Okay. It's a big task, but the man, as you're going to see tonight, he knows what he's talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him on out. Okay. If I can find the button. How you doing, Donald?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
I am doing awesome. Thank you very much. The other special guest is back in the green room. We'll bring him on in a little bit. Talk to him. He's an awesome dude as well. But yeah, folks, if you can spare a quick thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. And again, 6-shooter's link is down below. And folks, I'm daring you to get this man to 1,000 subscribers. I'm daring you. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. So Donald, go ahead and tell everybody what your channel is all about.
Well, a lot of times I'll have, kind of a little bit of everything going on, kind of like a personal vlog or whatever, but usually it's a majority homestead stuff. We started prepping a couple years ago, kind of getting more serious into it, but then over this past year, we decided to go on the homestead route and get the fences, the animals, the garden, and all the whole 9 yards. So that's mainly what they're about, and I'll have some logging stuff on there. That's what I do for a living, and a little bit of music on there every now and then.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you were telling me you know how to play the acoustic guitar. I was telling him backstage, guys, I tried to learn, I just couldn't learn it. And maybe it's because I was trying to learn to get out of Valentine's gifts. I was telling him, man, I'll just write a song or something, and say, hey, baby, I got this for you, and save a little bit of lettuce. You know what I mean? But a couple of things I love about this man's channel. Number one, he's homesteading now, which in itself is enough for you folks to subscribe. And there's tons of people over in the chat saying they just subscribe to your channel.
Well,
but
I
the other
appreciate
thing,
that.
I need you to explain this, man, is I actually wrote this down. Tell us about putting the kids to work. You made that comment to me. What does that mean?
Well, honestly, I grew up on a small farm and logging and everything too, ever since I was little. But we had some cows and we had garden and things like that. And I'm always enjoyed gardening and growing things. Even when I was a kid, 7, 8 years old, I'd have a flower bed in the yard that I'd grow everything. I'd grow corn over top of the windows, and cucumbers and tomatoes and all things like that. But I was homeschooled, and I think that really made a difference. I really enjoyed being able to do the things like that, and we had a couple of older folks up the road that my grandma was close with and family and stuff. And a lot of times during the summer, we go help them pick their garden and get it all processed and ready to freeze or can or whatever they were doing. And that's kind of what I want to instill in my kids, is learning how to grow things and learning that you have to work for your food, and not to be relying on a handout.
That's awesome, man. Grim Survival just checked into the chat there, so we better be
We
on
got Grim.
that.
Hold
What's
on
up,
one
Grim?
minute.
Oh no, here we go.
There we
I
go.
don't have any other hats nearby, man, or I grab one. Look like Smokey the Bear with that hat on.
Yeah, it doesn't work well with the headphones, but
That Smokey the Bear hat right there.
we got another one here too.
Oh man, that's a Grim special right there. Though I'll say you wear it better. So yeah, man, that's awesome. I think that not enough kids today, and I mean that in a good way. It's good that you're doing it. Not enough kids today have that kind of responsibility. And being homeschooled, honestly, would be a good thing nowadays.
Yeah.
I have to try and reteach my kids some stuff they learn at school. They'll get home and they'll say certain things, and I'm like, no, forget that. Forget what they just told you, and I'll have to correct it. See, there we go. Grim says John won't put his hat back on after all the Brokeback jokes. Didn't we call this back in the green room? The man's obsessed with Brokeback Mountain.
I believe I owe you $5.
Grim, just get it tattooed on your lower back. And then when you're thinking about it, you can look in the mirror and see the tattoo and get your fix in that way, brother. People are over here betting each other how many times he's going to say it now. So what kind of tactical gear do you have?
All of the best that a low budget will buy.
Low budget. I'm all ears, man.
Honestly, I don't have a ton of stuff or really high end stuff like that. I was telling you about my buddy earlier that does a lot of training and stuff, and he's the same way. If something is will do its practical purpose, that's good enough. So I've got a Palmetto main and Glock backup, the staples really. And my plate carrier, I really forgot what brand it was, but it was like less than $100. I had a Condor Century that was really good, but it just was really bulky on the shoulders. It would kind of rub your neck with the little attachments and stuff on it. So I got one a little bit slicker than that, but I don't remember the name, but it's nothing fancy. But so far it does the job and things like that. The biggest advice I would give is if you get something, whether you pay $100 or $500, definitely take it and try it, because it may let you down when you need it.
I have to ask, do you have a 6-shooter?
I got a few of them, and I got a couple 5-shooters and everything. But the funny story with that is, back when I was a teenager and, started driving and thought I was cool and everything, I got a couple of those fake, Western style 6-shooter guns and attached them on the grill of my truck. And that's kind of where I got the name from. And it stuck after that.
That's pretty awesome. I just ordered and I speak on this next week. I've got a video scheduled next week on the backup channel. I just ordered an MP40, but it's not, it's not a real one. I can't afford a real one, so I'm right there with you. It's actually just to mount up on the wall.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of the replica kits or whatever, the airsoft deals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you had mentioned that you were getting into, I guess, medical equipment and training. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. Like I said, my buddy that was getting together, he's really big into the medical stuff. And, we did some training, and, he's taught me a lot of stuff with chest seals and tourniquets and, when to use them, when not to use them, and things like that. So, that's really important. I usually carry a medical kit on me every day, just in case type of thing. I think I made a video on it. It's a VanQuest pack, but I forgot which one. But it's got a couple of zippers where you can, pack it like that, and then, compress it down and zip it up and make it a lot smaller. But I got chest seals in there, one set. I got one tourniquet in there. I've got some bleed stop stuff, and I've got a roll or two of gauze stuffed in there, and some alcohol pads and things like that, and some gloves.
Joyce asked, and you may not know, she asked what is the best place to get training on using medical kits. I know that Bear Independent offers the training from time to time, but do you know of anywhere else?
Personally, I don't, because like I was telling you earlier, my buddy that I did the training with is actually going to work with them. So like I said, he says it's top notch, and he's going to be an instructor there. So I would recommend them. But other than that, as far as basic first aid, a lot of times like local fire departments and rescue squads will host it, and you can probably look up like redcross.com or something, and they probably got some maybe listings for different areas around and stuff.
It's kind of hard to get into bears because oh man, who is it? Pastor Joe Fox. Anytime Bear has a class coming up, Pastor Joe Fox will plug it. And he's got so many followers on YouTube, it usually fills up fast,
Yeah.
So you're homesteading now. What's been the hardest part of homesteading for you?
Honestly, time and money, because we added all that we have right now in like a year or less. We started, okay, we're going to start homesteading, and we started with chickens in like late February 2020, maybe early March, something like that. And it's just been constant, one thing after another, one project after another. And I still have some projects that I need to do. I want to build an old-fashioned corn crib to be able to raise a bunch of corn and, store it in there, and then process it for, feed or grinding into cornmeal and things like that. But we started with chickens and built on from there.
Yeah, when you do that, do me a favor and post a video online, because there's a ton of people subscribing to you right now that would probably like to see that. I would like to see it myself. So to somebody who's prepping right now, maybe they just got into prepping, maybe they've been doing it for a while, but the end goal is obviously homesteading. What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, it depends. Every situation is different, but definitely the staples: food and water, and being able to stay warm, wintertime, having heat and stuff like that. But if you had the ability to, first thing would be learn how to grow stuff. If you never grew anything at all, there's plenty of simple options. I mean, even if you're in an apartment, I hadn't got one, but I was looking at it. They got them at Walmart and they got them online. It's like aeroponic garden or something. I forgot the name, but I seen one at Walmart. But it's a little kit that it takes no soil, just water, and it's got a built-in grow light, and you can grow like cherry tomatoes and lettuce, and they got different pods that you can get for it. And I mean, you can grow that indoors. If you have the ability, like a balcony or a porch or something, you can do plenty of container garden outside, growing tomatoes or pepper plants or anything like that. So it would get your feet wet a little bit into it. And after that, if you're thinking about animals, I definitely recommend chickens to start off as a first homestead animal. So far, with our luck, we've had really good luck with them. We hadn't lost, we lost some of the smaller ones, but that's how it is raising things. But as far as the big ones, we haven't lost any. They seem to be less susceptible to disease and worms and things like that. And also, you get eggs out of chickens, and you'd be able to have some kind of protein source without having to kill the animal.
Yeah, that's good advice. Trust no one. Thank you for the super chat. Plus, if you have a Rural King nearby, man, the chickens are easy to find. They put the little chicken prints on the floor. At least they do at my local one. Just follow them down through there.
I will say another thing on that. I've been to a Rural King, but it's not really local to me. It's local to a friend of mine, and I got him into chickens when we had some babies born. His little boy came over and fell in love with them, so we sent one home. So they got some more to add with them. Nice. When we started out, we got a couple of batches from Tractor Supply, and we had bad luck with them. They were small, but something, I don't know if it's genetics or what, but we would get 6 at a time. And one batch we lost all but 2, and the other batch we lost all but 1. And for no reason. They would be fine one day, you go out there the next day, something was dead. And the ones that he got from Rural King, he didn't lose any of them. They seemed to be healthier.
Must have been raising them on Starbucks or something, man. You know what I'm saying?
It could be.
What are your thoughts on before we bring our next guest on, what are your thoughts on the Texas weather?
I mean, they are catching it rough out there from what I've seen. They were definitely unprepared, and I kind of understand it because you don't really expect snow and ice in Texas. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's why we prep for, things that hadn't happened before, because it won't rain when Noah built the ark.
Yeah. My theory on it, and we talked about this a little bit before we went live, I don't drink or anything, but my theory is kind of like, how somebody will drink and then they'll have an extreme hangover, and they'll promise themselves, I'll never do this again. There's tons of people right now in Texas saying, I'll never get caught with my pants down again. I'm going to prep. But then 2 weeks, later, the person's drinking again. I think most of the people that have went through this are going to go back to not prepping. I think we will have some new preppers in the community, and it's important, that we bring them in and we teach them whatever we can. But I don't know how many people are going to come over and, truly start prepping. Warrior Stroll Ann, thank you very much for that super chat.
And on that note, just like the beginning of 2020 when things went crazy, you couldn't find anything anywhere, it was sold out and everything, and people done the same thing. They run to the store and try to get what they can get, but soon as things come back in stock, that's enough of that. I'm done with it. It'll never happen again.
Toilet paper, man. Why toilet paper? I don't know. So what are your thoughts on the paranormal, and does it have a place in the prepping community? And I'm asking you this for a specific reason.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on it, or I definitely don't go looking for it, but I do believe there is some type of paranormal stuff, spiritual things, like angels and demons and stuff. I definitely believe in that. I know that's real. The Bible talks about that, but as far as, like somebody dying and they say they're lingering around, I don't really believe that. But, things like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, I've never seen one. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and that's something else I want to mention to the chat here, because they may not know it. May be their first time seeing you. He is definitely a man of faith, and it is going to be a family-friendly channel if you subscribe over there. I know you're big on that, right?
Yep, that's really what I try to do. I try to make any of my videos not necessarily for kids, but if they're in the room, it's no foul language unless once in a while making some of the logging videos. Some of the other guys in the woods, but I'll usually put a language warning on that in the title or whatever. And we made a video slaughtering the hogs and stuff like that. So that's use your own discretion on that. But it's in the title. But other than that, it's pretty clean.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the next guest here. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on, Caveman?
What's going on? How y'all?
Brother, first of all, let me just say, if
Yes,
you're
sir.
out hunting Bigfoot and the paranormal now, we got to come up with a better nickname.
Yeah.
Or we need to let the chat come up with a better nickname or something, man, because Caveman
Yeah,
really doesn't fit somebody that's running around looking for Bigfoot.
We can't let Grim come up with the name, though.
Oh, no. Grim is not allowed to vote on this.
Please don't. Please don't.
So, no, I go up. I drive up to Virginia, which I'm right on the border anyway,
Yeah,
and I'm checking my PO box today. And I stop in to get gas and run into old Caveman. He's out in the parking lot talking to some girl. And there we go from there. But yeah, I'm like, I'll send you the link. Ask Uncle Jack what, Klinger, to come on the show. James might be able to call him. Do you have his number, or can you Facebook him, James?
No, I'm using my phone.
Well,
that's what I got the video running through is my phone.
So Jamie, go ahead while they're trying James Squatch. Grim said he was making coffee. What is it that he can't name? Anything, Grim, anything. So, tell us about your latest adventure. You said it was in Withville, Virginia. Is that right?
Yeah. It's what we did. We called it the Haunted Hearts. It's called Haunted Hearts Valentine's Day edition because we did it over to like that, like the weekend before Valentine's Day. So we've got like a 3-part series coming out. The first video is already up. Basically what it was is like, it gives like a, what I'm trying to say, it's like a documentary kind of deal. Feel to what we were getting into the second 2 shows or whatever. But I do have video footage of like part of the show if you would like to see it.
Well, it's on YouTube, right? The first part already? Because I hope so.
But what I've got in store is something else. It's a different part of the show. It hasn't been aired yet.
Oh, exclusive footage is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this exclusive footage on your phone that you're using also?
No, my laptop.
Your laptop, okay.
Yeah. Hold on,
brother. That's up to you. I don't want to deny you or anything.
Oh no, I've got more than that.
But I'm gonna tell, while you're pulling the this exclusive footage up, I'm gonna tell them the story. So I see him out in the parking lot today, and so those of you that don't know, he goes with I forget her name. Is her name Brandy? Right off, Jamie.
Yeah.
And they got this connection going on, and so they go and they stay in a hotel to investigate ghosts. And I told him, I said, you should have knocked on the wall or something like you were knocking for Bigfoot and started singing some Michael Bolton, But no, it's strictly business apparently.
For now.
No,
it is. It's just we're just good friends for now. But no, here's actually the footage I'm getting ready to show you is actually what they call spirit orbs. You can debunk most of it by, because like I'll let the video explain itself, and then I'll explain it to you. Like I'll show you the video, and then I'll explain what's going on.
How long is the video, Jamie? This is not like a 45-minute deal, is it?
No, it's like 35 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, man. I can drink coffee that long.
Yeah, it's a short clip. It's not very long. Now, if you'll watch real close, you'll see like a strobe of light come off of this side, and
I can't get no closer, man. I'll go through the computer here. So did y'all have one bed or two in the room, Jamie?
Do what? We had two.
Oh, okay.
It was
Just make
two
sure I
that
only
size.
saw one there in the footage. That's the spirit
Yeah.
orb I was seeing.
All right. If you watch the front of this video, like the very first of it, on the right-hand side of that bed or the left-hand side of the bed, you'll see a light go up. It's like an orb. It just strings up the side of it.
Yeah, send us a fireball like you did a minute ago.
Well, I hear a voice.
See it this way or not.
I hear a voice. Is this voice from the grave, or is this the girl that was with you?
Yeah, that was the girl who was with me.
Oh, okay. I thought you done found something.
But anyway, no, if I had a better shot of it instead of being on a laptop, you would actually have seen like on the left side of the video, like at the foot of the bed, there's like an orb that goes straight up the screen.
Jamie, while we still have viewers here,
We were in black dark.
What kind of equipment do you need? Because I don't know what kind of equipment you would need to investigate all this stuff, man. I just stack food and
all right.
ammo when I'm fine.
Right now I have a an HD camera. I have a full spectrum camera, which I actually need a full spectrum light for. We have an infrared light, which is all part of it. You need what they call a REM pod, which is like a I can't explain it exactly. It's what it is. It sends out an electromagnetic pulse. But basically ghosts can use the energy off of that, and then they can either manifest or they can use that energy to interact with people.
Oh, like, they can vote at the polls as well, son.
Yeah, no, no, it just interacts with the spirits that are here in the planet, like on Earth. And there are people that haven't crossed over because some of them don't even think they're dead. That's because some of them die in tragic ways. They don't even know they died. They just instantly die. Like, we had a video not too long ago, back when we did the Dora video. There was a story in there of a guy getting hit in the head in like 1900 or whatever, like 1920 or something like that. He got hit in the head in Pulaski, here in Virginia. Got hit in the head with a 600-pound like magnet that they pick up like railroad shit with. Like the magnet was so big it just like fell on him and crushed him in like 2 seconds. Yeah. I mean, it hit him in the head. It just like crushed him.
The lobby wants me to tell 6-Shooter real quick that he's up to 397 subs.
Wow, that's a lot. I appreciate it.
I'm daring y'all, get him to 1,000. We gotta do it, folks. Jamie, so here's the deal, man.
Yeah, bud.
I know you're into the ghost hunting. You know I'm into the prepping more so.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you, because I already know what the people in the lobby have to say about this. What does the rest of 2021 look like to you? As far as politically, as far as food prices, gas, things like that.
I think food prices and gas are going to go up. I know that because they have already started it.
They have started?
Yeah.
In your area?
Because gases went up where I work at. Like it went from $2.99 to almost, well, it went from like $1.99 to almost $2.15. So, and that's here in Virginia, and Virginia's a Commonwealth state.
What do you think about food and stuff, man?
Food's going to go up too, honestly.
And guys, this is from, Jamie, I was telling him earlier, you can survive out in the woods if you need to, but you're not what we would consider to be a hardcore prepper. You don't have emergency food stacked up in the house.
No, I don't have all of it.
You know that food is going up now and gas is going up and things like that.
Yeah.
What are you doing to prepare for it? Anything?
Now? Now I'm starting to listen to what you're telling and following people and just doing the things that I need to do.
Thank you for the super chat, Jason. Jason says prepping ain't easy. Prep on, prepper.
Yep.
So 6-Shooter, what's the rest of 2021 looking like to you?
Well, like he said, I think things are going to go up. Definitely gas is going to climb. I expect to see, $4 a gallon before the year's out, definitely. And on the food, it's definitely going up a little bit, but I think you're going to get into a lot more shrinkflation than just raising it up so they can kind of hide the food shortage a little bit. You'll get smaller and smaller amounts for the same money is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too.
Jamie, I know that you like pizza and tea, man. You better start stockpiling it while you can get it. Every nook and cranny in the house, man.
Either that or learn to make it from scratch.
Yeah, learn to grow it, brother. Well, the tea at least.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Make
can't,
it from scratch.
you can't grow pizza trees, but you can grow tea, man.
Well, that'd make it a whole lot easier, but that doesn't.
Oh man. So really quickly, the folks that are in the chat, they're always emailing and asking how they can connect, how they can form support groups or mutual assistance groups, MAGs. If you guys want to shout out your general location, please do not put your physical address, folks in the chat. But if you want to, put like Southwest Wisconsin or something like that. Yeah, there's somebody else that says gas has went up in Virginia. This would be a perfect time to do it, guys.
Yeah, it's went up.
Jamie, I got to know because people have asked me from our camping trip, and I really didn't know the answer. Why didn't you open the bucket? Remember the bucket we found?
Because I wasn't exactly sure what was in there, and I wasn't getting in trouble for it, and I didn't know who left it.
You wasn't getting in trouble for it.
I didn't want to get shot.
I mean, what do you think was in it potentially?
I really don't know. I couldn't honestly tell you. I know the bucket said it was tire size. I don't know if that was what it was or not.
I've got it narrowed down to either moonshine or feces, son.
Well, I could say moonshine possibly. It could have been a drop point.
We could have been getting watched, right?
Yeah.
I remember you and Jack were yelling at each other to open it, and I'm just like, I ain't opening it. I'm running the camera.
Yeah, and I told Jack I wasn't stupid enough to open it.
We need to have a huge weekend where me and Jack, we go up there and we camp, and then you need to get your people up there to hunt Bigfoot nearby, and we need to film it all together.
Oh, yeah.
I
know of another good place we could go do all of that. You want to know where it's at? It's called Hungry Mother State Park.
State Park?
Yeah. It's called Hungry Mother State Park. It's here in Virginia.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
It's a pretty good location too.
I'll go with you and bring my Bigfoot gun.
There you
go. Which one would that
work?
Bring 500 Smith & Wesson.
500 Smith & Wesson. Well, he's got to find Bigfoot first, man. Jamie be shooting anything that moves in the woods.
No, I wouldn't shoot anything that moves.
You could open the bucket with the
maybe with a camera.
6-shooter. Do you do a lot of camping?
Not yet. I'd like to get into it as the weather gets better and towards the spring and summer, and do some with the kids. I'm sure they'll enjoy that and everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, give me just a second here, guys. What I'm trying to do, you guys in the chat, if you want to ask any questions, 6-shooter or Caveman.
I can't see
I know all three of us at this point. Y'all are welcome to ask anything you have there. I'm going to open the asylum. I'm going to share the link here. And this is always where it gets a little crazy.
Oh,
Does anybody know Marie's in the house, first of all?
I do have a surprise for y'all.
Okay. Hold on. I think he's going to play something now that I've seen.
Go ahead there, see.
Probably be the first one to do this on your live stream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Like
Sounds good. Grim probably hears that in his head, but nobody's actually ever played it over here. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I was on his stream a while back, I brought it on too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying nice, man. Yeah, you can definitely play. You play any like heavy metal on there?
Nope. when I was about 16, I had a bluegrass band. Me and some other teenagers about the same age and stuff, and I played the guitar and did the lead singing then. And I had another boy played the banjo and stuff, and he could play a lot better than me. He could play all kind of crazy stuff on it.
Well, Jamie, you got to go get something to play, brother.
I ain't got nothing to play.
You ain't got no Casio Ratman or nothing?
No.
All right, so we're going to start bringing people up from the green room, but what I'm going to do, guys, hang with me because we're going to bring them in one at a time, and we're just going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, okay?
All right.
And first and foremost, I want to know, this guy, do you still have your car, man? Nobody
Man, I do. Yeah, I've got it. I've been driving it through the snow. My snowmobile. Yeah, I saw you picking on me the other night.
Nisi Tribe, Jamie, she says, where else do you want to ghost hunt that you haven't been?
Well, shoot, that's a good question. There's a lot of places, honestly.
Have you ever been up around like the Shenandoah Valley battlegrounds and stuff like that? I know a lot of people like to do that.
We did one at a what they call Claiborne Wayside. We did a video on it here not too long ago, actually. He was a captain in the Confederate Army. But he told his troops if he died to bury him where he lay. So we just went there about a couple months ago.
Jules says six-shooter. What is the thing that you grow the best?
Honestly, what we've had the best luck with is string beans or green beans, or we call them snaps, but we had about 6 rows in the garden last year, and we got 114 quarts that we canned, not counting what we ate, and we gave a couple of grocery bags full away.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Northern Girl Hobby said Jamie can come to her house and investigate. Northern Girl, did you miss the part where he's going to be singing Michael Bolton?
The what now? I can come to her house and investigate. Okay.
Joanne says, can you ask six-shooter if they have tried composting?
We actually just got into that probably a month ago or so, started a compost pile. And I wish that I had started one a couple years ago with all the soil that I've had to buy doing the greenhouse and the, filling the tubs and the pots and building a bed around it for the strawberries and stuff. But we started doing that and kind of putting coffee grounds and, some of the scraps out of the house. A lot of times they go to the animals, like when we had hogs, and to the chickens and things. But all the shavings and litter and stuff out of the animal pens and stuff, we're putting that in compost.
That's awesome. Jerry, what you been into, man?
Oh, just busy making my first live stream last night. I know you jumped on there for a little bit, so just staying busy, man. It went
well, man. I thought it went well. The key is you have to imagine everybody naked unless Grim Survival's in the chat, and then that's a no-go. You can't do it.
Oh wow! I'll never see a live stream the same now. Thanks, man. Yeah.
But Grim keeps the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get banned from YouTube. Yeah.
Thank you, Klinger. Klinger's putting out everybody's links. And again, six-shooter and Jamie's, y'all right down below the video. So if you guys are into the paranormal and the Bigfoot deal, James' channel is the one you want to check out. The Homesteading, six-shooter, all the way. Fancy cars, House of Prep. He's got a nice car.
Yeah. Hey, have y'all ever been down to St. Augustine, Florida?
I haven't.
I've never.
Y'all were talking about like the ghost stuff. They have pretty cool ghost tours down there. A lot of old history. Yeah.
They're like Prestige Worldwide, man. They're everywhere, apparently. Jamie, where y'all gonna be next, man?
Actually, we're going to see. Right now, we're doing like Virginia. So we're doing like a little certain spots in Virginia. The next place we're going to be is a little community called Hiawassee. There's a lot of haunted sites up there. There's a battleground up there that we're going to check out. There's a couple other things that we're going to do. And then we may even get into some Bigfoot stuff up there.
Kathy asked, does anybody have advice on a good wheat grinder for flour? 6-shooter, maybe you. I don't actually have a grinder.
I haven't got into that yet, but that's something we want to do this year, is to figure out how to grow wheat and be able to grind our own flour and things like that. I did order a grain grinder, just a hand crank one. I don't remember what brand it was, like $30-$40, something like that. But we did grind a little bit of corn with it, and it did pretty good.
I was going to say that may be her best bet.
The hand crank grinder.
Yeah, because wheat and grains in sort of in that same spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Klinger says she likes Caveman's channel music. Who is it?
Actually, it's a
you
like
think
the channel.
You don't know.
Basically, I got it off of it was a royalty free song that I got off YouTube that somebody just like donated. It was like a beat that somebody said to just take for free, so I just used it.
Yeah,
it was good.
6-shooter, play chicken plucking. I love that sound.
I was prepping my chick. I was prepping my show.
Let's see here. Somebody said the most haunted hotel ever is Estes Park in Colorado.
Yeah. There is a very haunted hotel up there.
So this battleground that you guys are going to go to, Jamie, is this like Civil War or what?
Yeah, it's a Civil War based battleground. There's
that's awesome.
They said at one point there, I think if I'm remembering what Brandy found was right, she said that there was apparitions up there at times, which is like images of like past people that have been there or whatever. You get to actually see the ghost walking across the field, kind of like in Gettysburg.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that stuff.
Very well too.
I'm with 6-shooter on that. I do believe there's paranormal stuff, but to me, it's more of a biblical thing, like demons and things like that. But again, I ain't no expert on that, Jamie.
Well, I can understand it.
No, you're gonna have to get your tail up here, or I'm gonna have to come swing by and visit you one day, man. We got some catching up to do. Apparently, I didn't even know you were ghost hunting until we went camping last time, dude.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. Well, I'm off next weekend.
He's just throwing his work schedule out.
Yeah. It was a week ahead of time.
All right, I'm jotting it down. All right, I got it jotted down.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts, man, Jerry, on everything that went down in Texas? What do you think's we're gonna see a bunch of new preppers, or do you think they'll just go back to putting their head back in the sand?
Yeah, I was listening to you guys earlier. Hey, look, they've been hit by hurricanes before. Okay, they've had power outages. They've had this type of stuff, just in a different form, and they didn't prep after that. So that's kind of proved it. So I think that you'll get a few. They'll jump on here, and they'll probably join your channel. Maybe a few will join our other channels, and we'll try to do our best to help them. And I think most of them will go back to business as usual. Everybody's so easy to jump on that new normal. I call it the new abnormal, but people just kind of accept, this is how it is now, so let's just roll with it, and they'll just ride it till the wheels fall off. So
I can't understand that. I guess I
don't get it.
I don't either, man. I don't understand the whole, I saw pictures and news articles, of course, mainstream media, so take it with a grain of salt, but where people standing in line in the freezing cold for hours for like either propane or drinking water.
Yeah. No, I don't want that. Yeah, no way. There's no way I want to do that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, my brother's in the National Guard, and he had told me back before COVID, he was telling everybody, all of our family and friends, he's like, look, you don't want to be standing in line for the free stuff. He goes, it takes all day long waiting in a line just to get a little bit of stuff thrown in your trunk. he goes, "There's just no way that you want to do that. You just want to prepare. Just get
Yeah.
prepped up."
Frank, I had a Nation member email me. I wasn't able to check it until we had power back completely, but he was telling me he had started prepping. I guess he's been prepping for 6 or 7 months, and he said he's in Texas and he's the only person on his entire block that had hot coffee. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He had a rocket stove. He was good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what prepping's for, you know, to avoid stuff like that, because it's eventually going to happen everywhere. Maybe not, you know, snow and ice, but something like you were talking about, hurricanes or something.
Right.
You were talking about the National Guard. Does anybody know if they're still in DC? I haven't really had a chance to check the news today.
I think till March. Isn't that right?
Until
Did
March?
you guys hear that? Till the beginning of March, sometime after the first week of March or so, they're starting to go back.
So. I know.
Is that right?
Cover story. What are they telling people they're there for?
I know. I was reading an article today about Texas where some of their power bills are up to like $10,000 because their grid down there is so sorry, and they're still charging them money.
I heard
Are you
that.
talking about in Texas?
Yeah, and the president has called it a major catastrophe. Like that whole system down there is screwed.
Well, yeah, Ray Charles could see that it was a major catastrophe.
Yeah, well, yeah, but no, what I mean is like he's deemed it like a national. You know, he's going to send them federal aid down there. Is what I'm trying to say.
State of emergency. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on
He said it was a
the spot,
major state of emergency. The way they put it.
I already know the answer to this, James, but I'm going to put you on the spot here because I know what the people in the lobby feel.
Yeah.
Are you a Trump man? Do you think we're better with or without Trump now?
I don't know. Because politics, you can't never tell. That's that's the way I see it. I don't lean one way or the other. Because I look at
it's been a while since you were up here, but you were hating on him something fierce at one time.
Oh yeah, well, I know that, but what I'm saying is like I've been looking at both sides.
John.
Neither one of them's any
That's
good.
right.
No, I don't like either one.
What Joe Biden? What are your thoughts on
to
Joe
go back to the
Biden?
barter system. Period. That's my whole issue. That's my whole thought on the project. And we should get rid of the government.
It's kind of like the Five, except there's only 4 of us in here right now. But you can be, I forget the guy's name, one. You can be one, man.
You got to have them.
No, I'm like Bruce Lee. I'm like water. I take whatever side I need to, or whatever shape I need to.
Well, what are your thoughts on the election we just had, Jamie?
Honestly, I can be honest with you and tell you that I ain't sure about this side of the government either.
Juan Williams. Yeah, thank you.
I'm just not sure of the government, period.
Lesser, yes, lesser the 2 evils.
Yeah, I mean, like that's it. Like that's just looking for the lesser of the 2 evils, and there's not one. They're all evil. Every last one of them in Washington's evil.
Who do you think's running the country? Do you think it's Biden or do you think it's Harris, Jamie?
Neither.
Neither.
No, they're a puppet.
Please explain. Let me open Red Bull for this one, Big Dad. I got to hear this theory. Go ahead.
They're all puppets.
Puppets for who?
I don't know. It's just they're all puppets. They all have their own agenda. So one of them So like what I'm saying, what I don't really mean that there's like that, but what I'm saying is like the whole government in a whole has like pulled the wool over the country.
I see him back in the green room. You done had it now, Jamie.
Right? No, I just don't believe in the government, period, honestly.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I would agree that they're puppets, and I don't really know for who. It's either for me, and then, you know, Jerry and Six Shooter, y'all weigh in on it too, if you don't mind. But for me, it's either the Wall Street elites or it's international players. And I just don't know who they're working for. It
Yeah,
ain't
that's what
cheaper.
I'm saying. Like, I don't know who it is, but there's something fishy.
I lean toward a country that starts with C.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I could say that.
What
Either
about you,
that or
Jerry?
maybe Ukraine. They got a lot of ties there.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
James.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, James is right. It's politicians. It's all across the board. Back when we had the chance, I saw the chance to vote for somebody who wasn't a politician, and I jumped on it. And I was like, you know what? Let's roll the dice with this. Let's do it. Let's get somebody in there who's a bull in the china shop and shake it up. And he did. He
did
shook
that.
it up. And from day one, they were out to get him, and they didn't like him. That's a good sign. That means we got somebody in there to scare everybody. Even Democrats, Republicans, I think, scared a lot of them. Didn't like him. And you saw how people turned on him at the end, even on the Republican side. So I think that getting somebody in there, yeah, I'm sure, being, abrasive and, rash. And I'm sure he played a little politics on the side. But I think overall, putting in a businessman, someone different, something a little different. So
at least if he didn't do anything else, he kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to just how crooked all of them are in the mainstream media and all the lies and cover up.
The corruption, like James said, on both sides.
Yep.
So
I'm going to shock John with this answer, but I will give him credit. He played that like a CEO of a company.
What are you talking about?
He basically just told him that, hey, look, I'm doing it this way. If you don't let me, then I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he
did
it the way he knew how to do it, man.
Said, look, I'm the boss. I'm running the show, so I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
Now that I give him. He did
So
do that.
how's the prep, man? When are you live streaming again?
I want to try to do it. I think Friday. I was talking about that on the video. Is Friday a pretty good night, you think?
I think it is. As far as for me, it would be Friday or Wednesday, but Fridays seem pretty open compared to the other nights here.
Yeah, because I don't want to overlap a lot of you guys that are already kind of doing your set schedule. I'd like to have kind of my own night per se.
I really only have time to do it once a week now. Right now, man.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up with time, especially if your power's going out.
Yeah. Well, you got any last thoughts here, Jerry, before I bring
No, that's it. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Let me jump off here so you can keep this thing rolling.
Oh, you're fine, man. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Nice meeting you guys.
Have a good one, Jerry.
See you guys.
Good meeting you, man.
Y'all come back, you hear?
There he is. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Pretty good now that this Hillary Clinton supporter down here in the corner, it seems like he's converted over.
Oh, no.
He's at least in the middle now, man.
No, I always look
I
at
can
the
tell him where
in the middle.
I can tell him where to find Bigfoot. My brother shaved her and married her.
So we should just stop looking.
Yeah, you stop looking, man. The hunt's over.
Well done.
No, I did a video yesterday about some of the stuff down there in Texas. They had thousands and thousands of baby chicks that died because of incubators. They couldn't get power to them. They had to put down a lot of cattle because they can't get feed to them and couldn't water them or nothing.
Wow.
So look for the price of chicken and beef and everything to start skyrocketing worse than it already is.
I will springboard off of that. When we lost power, we lost ours for 2 days, a week ago or so. And we ran the generator night and day, basically because we had some baby chicks that we had to keep the heat lamps going and things like that. I would like in the future to get a good enough solar setup to really not have to worry about it. But for the time being, we're relying on that generator.
Yeah, that solar is expensive to set up for something like that. We've been doing that at our bug out, man, and that so far to do our bug out location, it's already up at around $30,000 that we've spent on that. So
have you went through a lot of batteries or anything, or is it a newer setup?
Well, it's a newer setup, but we're still using the deep cycle batteries. We're using actually batteries that you'd use for a semi APU unit. they run about anywhere from $150 to $300 a piece. Those are the cheapest ones really that you could get.
Yeah, too expensive for me, man. Yeah, I would love to have the huge panels, out on the roof and stuff like that, but yeah.
In my area, they're putting in a big solar farm and everything. I mean, I hadn't talked to them or checked into it or anything, but it's a couple in the neighborhood that's got on it. And one of them was telling me that in Virginia, they wouldn't be able to sell you a solar setup to do 100% of your power usage, only about 75%. And then you still have to have regular, electricity from a power company to cover the rest.
Yeah, that's why we're also investing in some wind power, and we're looking at hydro since we have a creek that runs through our bug out location.
Mm-hmm.
I know some power companies now they're actually pushing solar, but I don't know if I trust it. Seems like a scheme or something,
Now we had a solar. They started a solar farm down by where I live right now, and they converted a bunch of people over to it. And all of those people, when this blizzard came through, and I live in Illinois, all of those people were under blackout because they couldn't get enough power to their homes from the solar. It was covered in snow and ice.
Yep, I've heard a lot about that. With the solar and wind too, if you have bad winter weather, they'll get covered, or like the windmills, they'll freeze, and if you ain't turning, you ain't earning.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
I mean they have windmills that are built for the cold environment. I mean, I see them up in North Dakota and stuff all the time. Those don't freeze up. Problem is Texas never expected to get as cold as they did. So yeah, there's froze up, iced up, and they don't have the auto heat device in them that keeps it from doing that.
Yeah, they went the cheap route and didn't winterize them, and everybody had to suffer for it.
Yeah, I've got a few friends down there. They're preppers, so they didn't even notice anything. I mean, they have well on their property that connects into the aquifer, and they've not had any problems other than the well froze at the top, so they just broke up the ice and pumped it out. And then they have their own they have a diesel generator at their place. I mean, it's a huge thing, so I mean they've been sitting comfortable this whole time.
It's crazy, man, how that works when you're prepared. You know what I mean? When you prep and then something major like this happens, like in Texas, it's no big deal because you're already prepared, and everybody else, like we were talking about, they're lined up out in the freezing cold waiting to help them out.
I remember hearing Bear Independent say a lot on his channel that I want to be so set up that when the world ends, somebody has to come tell me like 2 weeks later, hey, did the world end?
That's right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I think of homesteading, like 6-shooter homestead, when I think of homesteading, I think of not ever having to go to the store again. That would be the ultimate goal, but it takes a lot of money and a lot of time, man.
Yeah, one of the big things with that is, I mean, there's just some stuff that you can't produce no matter what you got, like salt and, things like that. You got to, stock as much as you can, but there's a limit to everything. But that's one of the concerns that we have long term is salt and things like that, because when we did the hog meat, a lot of the old fashioned curing with that, it uses a lot of salt.
Yeah, a lot of salt for curing a ham and bacon.
Arts just put in the chat that he has an uncle in Texas, south of Houston, that owns a cattle ranch, and he's had to put down 15 heads of cattle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of the bigger ranchers have had to put down a couple of hundred head.
Wow.
Yeah, I was reading articles about it yesterday, and I was like, man, I thought paying $20 for 2 New York strips was bad. Just wait, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I mean, meat, and beef and everything's already up there in price, but I hadn't even put that together. Like, it's going to go up a lot more now.
I seen the other day that Mr. Gates said that people in rich countries, like America, should be eating more synthetic meat and things.
Yeah. Oh,
he's pushing that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I did a video on that too.
Anyway,
Oh, $1 trillion bill.
When did we get to the point where we started caring about what Daddy Gates thinks is best for us? It would be my question.
I still don't.
I can't even
I
get
don't
my computer
understand.
to work half the time.
He knows computers. He doesn't
I'll-
know food.
He doesn't know computers. Microsoft.
No, remember, what was it? One of the versions of Windows, when he was demonstrating it, it crashed and they couldn't get it back up on live
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, that was Windows Live or the crap.
Come on, Jamie,
Windows,
think.
Vista.
Vista.
Vista, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the man that wants to tell us what we need to eat now.
Oh yeah. Well, look at it. He owns the most farmland out of anybody in the world. He owns like 244,000 acres of land worldwide. He went into South Africa and talked the government into subsidizing, and he was supposed to be there to help these people to be able to get out of famine and stuff. And all he did was he made things worse, because he made them grow soybeans and corn instead of the regular crops that they grew in that area that sustained the villages around there. So the people actually wound up in worse poverty and in, starving worse than they were before.
Yeah, because they didn't eat it. They never ate that kind of food. I mean, I'm sure they had.
Well, they were producing.
Yeah,
they were producing for global economy, for to sell it on the global market rather than to feed the people, which is what he originally told the government that he was there to do, was to get rid of the famine. But instead he made as much money off of it as possible, while everybody else got screwed.
Oh yeah,
right.
He's a billionaire for a reason. He's got his hands all over pharmaceutical. He's got all this farmland, like you were talking about. We all know why, but the mainstream media, they make him out like he's Gandhi or something, like he's walking around just on a peaceful mission to help the world or something.
I can picture him in a pair of overalls and a pitchfork in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like
I'd love to see him put in
farmland.
They do say money's the root of all evil.
I'd love to see him just put in an honest day's work on a farm. Honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get him on my channel, do some homesteading with me.
I would just like to see. I would like to see our lawmakers take the vax and actually have something in there when they take it.
Right.
That's what I want to see. And dead people not voting. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Speaking of the vax,
we need to get
baby
James
brother
on that dead people voting and kind of get to the bottom of that paranormal activity. Investigate the post office.
Speaking of that vax, my baby brother took his first shot a couple of weeks ago, and I told him that when he goes to go for a second shot, I'll go ahead and start planning his funeral out. Yeah. Oh, no, thanks, man. No,
I really think with that it's not going to be many right up front effects or notice anything. I think it's going to be a lot of long-term things that's going to come up in about 4 or 5 years. You're going to see that commercial. Have you or one of your loved ones?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you lost control of your bowels because you got the vax?
And what they're talking about now? What is it? The bug burgers? I think I saw that.
Yeah.
The bug burgers and everything. Man, who wants to eat that? It's garbage.
No. So that's why out at our bug out, we're raising some cattle and some hogs and chickens and all that stuff, so that when they do switch over to that, I'll just go live out there and eat off of what I grow.
I will say it may be an unpopular opinion, and doctors are supposed to know more now than they did and all that, but back in the older days when everybody raised their own garden vegetables and their own meat, even with high cholesterol and everything like that, I mean, they would live to be 90 or 100 years old like it won't no problem. Now you're doing good to make it past 65.
And they weren't on all the medications they are now,
Exactly.
Well, my grandmother, she ate all that stuff, grew up, well, lived her entire life on farm, and she died at 98 years old. And it wasn't from any of that. It was the pneumonia got her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather, him and my grandmother lived back then too, and it was like, shoot, my grandfather was like 95 when he died, and my grandmother was like 95 when she died on my mom's side, and then my other grandmother on my dad's side was like 88, 89.
You talking about Pops?
Yeah.
Listen, his granddad was like a moonshine legend or something.
Oh
I guess I can say that now, right, Jamie? He was a
yeah.
moonshine legend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he
like
moonshine.
You go to my grandmother's house when we were kids, man. Breakfast consisted of ham, bacon, pork chops, and eggs, and all the greasy stuff cooked in lard, actual lard.
Oh, yeah.
And to live to be as old as she did, I was like, wow.
When we processed our hogs and everything, we took and cooked down a bunch of lard and stuff. I got it in jars and stuff.
Thank you for the super chat, Big Red. Appreciate that, sir.
That's something people really need to think about too, is learn to render, because, I don't like vegetable oil, and I don't do margarine or anything like that. I use actual lard. I use actual butter, That margarine was just created as a filler for livestock, and then the livestock wouldn't eat it. So they were like, well, what are we going to do? Well, they added some artificial flavoring and coloring and started selling it to people. If the livestock won't eat it, why the hell should I?
The livestock are smarter.
Right? I'll stick with the regular butter,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, somebody's asking how they can join the stream here. We got sailing preppers in the green. Well, we got a few of them here. Sorry, guys.
Hey, I'll back out of here. Let somebody else in.
Oh, you're fine. I appreciate you being on here.
Hey, actually,
I appreciate you having me.
Let him stay, and I'll back out for a while.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
How do you want to do it?
Yeah, you're good.
It's a party.
Oh, let's see here. There we go. How you doing, man?
Hey, John.
Like the hat.
Thank you. I'm going to answer your question that you've been asking me for like 2 weeks.
Oh, the boat.
I've decided on the boat's name. It's going to be Firefly.
Firefly. That's a pretty good name, man. Thank
You're
you,
a sci-fi fan, ain't you?
Yes, I am. You recognize it, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do.
You got a sailing song for us?
None that I dare sing due to the fact of copyright laws on YouTube. That and my voice kind of sucks.
Warrior Sherland, thank you very much for the super chat. So, man, sailing preppers, what do you think about everything down in Texas? What do you think? Do you think it'll spawn a lot of preppers in Texas now, or do you think they'll just go back to throwing their head in the sand again?
I'm with what the other guy said. They've gone through a lot of hurricanes and a lot of stuff before. They're going to throw their heads back in the sands. I mean, some of them might be, but you go through. They go through more stuff than I do up here, the great up north.
It kind of reminds me of like back in the Bible, as many times as God delivered them and things like that, and then they would doubt them and go back to their old ways and get in trouble again, and then come back and forth all through the whole Bible. Some people just never learn.
Well, that's our entire society.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to go towards the Bible, I got to say this. Two things to that. One, and this is the biggest problem that we don't seem to follow, that I think are probably two very wise things that the Bible teaches people, okay? First of all, God said, give a man some fish. He'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. He'll eat for a lifetime. I think that's kind of like the prepper's way of thinking, you know? We teach each other to do things so that we're self-sufficient. And a lot of people in the world are not like that.
And
I
never
agree
will
with
be.
that,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's in the Bible. I've never seen it and everything, but I do agree with that concept, and that's kind of the way I lean, especially with homesteading. I want to be able to produce it myself instead of consuming so much.
It's in the form of the Bible that I grew up with the Hebrew Bible.
I got you.
Yeah, there is a verse in there that says, "Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime."
Yep. And then the other part, which I'm not actually sure is in the Bible or just something that, you know, they used to say, which is cleanliness is the next to godliness. Okay? And I look at it this way. Think about it this way. For those of you that have kids, you teach your kids to clean their room. You teach your kids to wash themselves, brush their teeth, all that stuff, because you want them to be healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why as a nation or as a planet, because the whole world is guilty of this one, all right? We pollute ourselves constantly. You know, they talk about a lot of things with like the mask to save us and that. But how many people do you see where you look outside, like wherever anybody is, you'll see this stuff on the ground. We don't follow any of this stuff.
I have seen a ton of masks laying in parking lots and you know, things like that. And yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, masks, latex gloves. I mean, it's all just everywhere.
Empty bottles of sanitizer.
No, we're basically trashing our own environment in every way. Corporations are just as guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, corporations. I love this little gimmick they got going on where they know plastic is bad for the environment, but they will not stop producing it because they want to make a quick buck. So they continue to make the plastic, and then they shove all the burden off on the people. You know, like you need to be recycling. Stop making it.
Well,
you know,
see, that's the thing is, you can make plastic from hemp, and it breaks down within like 3 or 4 years after it's disposed of. You know, why not start hemp farms just for the purpose of that? I mean, clothing is a major thing in the landfills. Okay, because the polyester and all that's made from you know, byproducts from oil. You can make hemp from clothes that breaks down, or clothes from hemp, and it breaks down a lot quicker. You know, that's the thing is they don't want to go with that option because then it puts Monsanto and places like that out of business.
Yeah, it's all money, man. It's ridiculous. You know, y'all were talking about teach a man to fish, and I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, Daddy Gates ain't gonna let you eat it before long.
Right.
You know?
Oh, any more fish is getting dangerous to eat anyhow with all the chemicals they're pumping into the water. I mean, hey, I've caught some fish out of the river that I looked at those fish when I cut them open, and I'm like, oh man, the fish ain't supposed to be green inside.
No, you just call a mulligan and throw that one back in.
I'm more of a believer in God helps those who help themselves. That should be more of the prepper philosophy.
Well, it's the same idea in both ways.
I kind of like the story of Joseph, you know, stocking up the food and preparing for those hard times, you know, those 7 years of lean, they called it. And, you know, they were good to go, sitting pretty.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of prepping in the Bible if people just read it and understand what it says.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one person in the green room. If you want, I can go ahead and bring him over. You know, as long as you guys are cool with that.
Shoot him in here.
How you doing, sir? I think he's asleep. How you doing there?
Yeah, thanks for letting me on. I was in the middle of writing something here when you first put me in here.
You had me scared. I thought Bill Gates was on here for a second.
Oh, God. I know Daddy Gates cares so much and he wants us all to get safely vaccinated, but I'll go ahead and pass on that one anyway.
Yeah, he's all hard, isn't he?
Yeah, he's I call him Farmer Bill. You know, he owns more farm acreage than any one of us. So, what can you say? But,
he's either getting ready to get into the food industry or he's building the next Disneyland. And I'm going to go with that.
Well, to give a guy whatever he wants, whenever he wants it, just because he is loaded with money, he has no political position to make any decisions or vote on anything in that. But and look, I'm former medical field, okay, and I'm not qualified with vaccines, but I'll bet I'm closer to it than he is. And I'll be the first one to tell you, don't take them. We got tons of shots when I was 18 to 22 years old, when I was in the Army over half my life ago. But I've been trying to detoxify out of that for the last 30 years now. So, and I've been a lot better off, I think, because of it. So, but this has been a journey, guys.
You seen where Papa Gates is wanting everybody to, he's saying with this new variant of the COVID that you need 3 shots, not just the 2, and then you're going to have it every year.
3 shots?
I've been, I've heard that too. A lot of people were telling me. I thought it was 2. I'm like, well, I've been hearing that there's a third, kind of like the hepatitis series shots, right?
This might get some dirty looks from you guys, but I'm going to say this anyways. I'd rather have the Sputnik V than anything that they're throwing at us.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of new. I mean, at prepping, I've been doing it for 18 months with my wife,
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of your guys' channels when I get time anyway. And, but, growing up, even when I was in certain realms of society, going organic when I had the money to do it, when I lived in a city and that, I was always better off. And, just nutrition and that. I look at it, hearing some of you guys talking about Bible. I used to teach that online. And I think what a lot of people have a problem with, not that it's their fault, but this westernized society, we picture doctors. For example, Luke was a doctor or a physician, right? He wrote Luke and Acts. And they get this picture of a hospital or an ER, an OR room. But that's not how it was back in his day. They had to use natural herbs and remedies. And if he had to set something back in place for you, it had to be a mighty painful act. Okay, he didn't. Maybe they gave you something natural to help with the pain before that, but it's not like it is today. So I have a hard time accepting, again, being former medical as an aide. I have a hard time accepting that Bill Papa Gates, whatever you want to call him, Farmer Bill, has said he's a vaccine expert, because he doesn't have the credentials for it. The man's been talking blatantly. Compare his words. Compare Bill and Melinda Gates' words to Margaret Singer, for example. It's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Concerning at the least. But,
and what's really scary about all this is a lot of the prepping community is on to what's really going on, and they're silencing us.
Oh yeah.
They don't want word getting out, I guess.
Sit down, shut up.
I don't know what's happened to you there, Prepper Nation, but I've had videos taken down.
Yeah. So, well, I had a YouTube sent a warning over last week because I put a video out about rescuing kids. I guess that's off limits now. Right. It's like they should send you a bingo card with everything that's off limits. You know what I mean? We've probably checked all those boxes tonight already.
I did not see that video. Is it down
for
now?
The American flag, and we're getting ready to check that one off now. How you doing, Brian Keith?
How are you guys doing out there?
All right.
Is your video still up or is it down?
No, they demonetized it, and I got a warning. And then I think Grim was telling me he got an actual strike. See, they'll give you a warning, and then they go into giving you strikes. And once you get into the strikes, you can't live stream, you can't do this and that.
I know my channel's
you got to be monetized for all that. So they just keep pulling them down.
It's just the thought of it. You know, I don't really care if it's monetized, making money or whatever, but the fact that you can't put something like that on there, but then you see all this nonsense on YouTube, you know, and they're okay with that.
Oh yeah. But see, with me not being monetized, I don't get any strikes. They just, you know, they'll pull the video down and refuse to let me post it up there. It took them 12 hours just to upload and review my video for where I was talking about Bill Gates the other day.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure they've already nailed this one. You know, some 22-year-old kid in Silicon Valley.
They soft censored the one I did about JFK, where they had to put a warning label on it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. If you go to my videos, you'll see one that says JFK. It's got a blue warning label.
It's a digital book burning, man. We went through this, you know, during World War II. They were just burning hard copies of books, and we're in a digital age now.
You have to appease to the YouTube gods.
This way, all they did is prove me right.
Well, you know, that's the same way with Facebook and stuff. I mean, those independent fact checkers are actually employees of Facebook themselves. You know, they fund the whole operation, so there's nothing independent about it. You know, and you know, and then Zuckerberg, Native Voice did a video about Zuckerberg getting caught on in a conference or whatever, where he was talking about how he didn't really want his employees to take the vax because he wasn't sure what it would do to them. You know, I mean, yeah, they tell you to do one thing, but they're not going to do it themselves, and they don't want their employees and family and all that to do it either.
No, it's the same thing with Papa Gates. He's not going to eat bug burgers. He's not going to let people he cares about eat them. You know, but that's the new let them eat cake. He's going to make us eat it. Do
as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, well, he better hope he don't wind up like Marie Antoinette.
YouTube, I did not say that.
What is your guys' like some of you guys have been into this prepping homesteading longer than we have, and what's your take on it? Like, I know that if you're at least 5 miles out of town, it makes you a lot safer if anything goes down, like it did in my home state, Minnesota, after George Floyd was murdered. What's your take? How do you guys, I don't know if we should even talk about this, but like if somebody tries to come onto your property.
Well, the further out you are, the safer you are. And well, like our bug out location is down you got to go down a gravel road to a dirt road to a farm access road and drive a couple of miles back into the farm access road to find our bug out location. You know, so I mean, we're way out there, but it's 50 acres of land out in the middle of nowhere, absolutely nowhere. You know, we don't even allow any cell phones or anything out there. We actually have a jamming system out there to keep you from being able to make phone calls and GPS being tracked and all that. Yeah.
So my moderators are plugging you guys channels. Does anybody in here not have a channel? You guys
I have a channel, but I've only got about 30 people on it, so I'm still kind of working on it.
I don't feel bad. I've only got like 350.
I can put my channel up, but I've only got 500 something, but I changed my whole itinerary because I got tired of telling people what to do and give them good advice, and they're kind of bungholios about it.
Yeah,
but I suppose I can put myself out.
You're going to get trolls. I mean, I did a video a few weeks back now that I'm talking about how they're pushing the gender equality bull in the schools and about how I don't want my kids to have that pushed on them. And I got a death threat in my email because somebody thought that I was bashing the LGBTQ community and all that. And, so, I mean, you're going to get haters no matter what you do on here. The thing is, are you helping somebody? That's all that matters. Is I get emails from people all the time telling me, thank you, that's something I hadn't thought of. That helps out a lot. As long as I'm helping at least one person, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My
I just got
advice
burnt out after a while.
I wouldn't live in a major city right now for anything. If you're 5 miles away, at least you have that 5 mile head start if you have to bolt,
Well, currently I know I'm in a city. We got about 50,000 people here. We kind of lost power a little bit when Texas was dealing with their crap. But a few of us, including me, I've got a gas generator, and I've also got a solar setup that I've been working on. It's a little 300-watt system. Instead of buying like a Blue Yeti, I actually built my own from some different Harbor Freight stuff and some solar panels I picked up online. So spent maybe $800-900. Got about 300 watts with 300 milliamps in batteries, and then a 2,000 watt continuous inverter with a 4,000 watt peak on it. I mean, it'll handle the fridge and the deep freezer and maybe a few other things, but if I get totally out of power, then I'm not too screwed like everyone else. So
now, how far away from your panels are you putting your battery system, though? Because the further away you go from the further the distance that the batteries are from the panels, you actually lose voltage.
yeah, it's mine are about 25 feet, not too far, 25 feet.
So, guys, I've got somebody else here in the green room that I need to bring over.
I'll hop off, but can I throw something out there?
Sure, man.
All right.
Go ahead.
I grew up with a guy, him and his wife. They basically are the ones who took care of me when I was a kid, and they taught me prepping and everything. But since I remember, and this was all the way back in the 90s and the 80s, he always ran a business, and if he's still around, I haven't talked to him in a couple of years. Roy Butler at Four Winds Renewable Energy. You guys want to know anything about that? He used to be one of the leading people in New York State to talk to.
Hey, well, I'll let myself out. Is that you you're trying to get in? Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll go ahead and let myself out. Thanks for letting me on.
Take it easy. I
I
love
think
the
my
boat
wife
going,
wants
by
me.
the way, man.
And other than that,
All right.
I'll let you see you around, John.
See you, man.
Yeah, and eventually, if you need me out too, I will. It's not going to bother me. I'm not going to get hurt feelings. I'm not a liberal, so.
Oh, no, you're fine. Well, there she is. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Howdy.
Can you hear me now?
Howdy.
Yeah,
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you just had my husband on there, and I'm sitting here looking over at him. That was Levite Khan that was on there, the guy with the glasses.
Okay, if you don't mind, have him put his channel in the chat. If you don't mind, have him put his channel in the chat. The moderator.
Yeah, put your channel in the chat, dear. You mean in the private or the regular?
The regular is fine.
The regular, dear. Well, we got several
everybody
channels.
in the chat wants to know what you folks think about Fort Pelosi in D.C.
Oh, man. You know what? They're all puppets for the elites. That's all I got.
It's kind of funny how they can have walls, yet if we have some, it's bad.
Oh yeah, you're racist if you have a wall or
yeah,
a fence or anything.
And that's what I thought. Walls were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't fund walls here, but we will fund them for other countries overseas, like countries around Iran and stuff, where we're paying to build walls over there.
Isn't that crazy? It's funny how that works.
Yeah, but don't some of those countries over there overseas, if you try to cross their border, especially if you don't have permission, you probably usually get shot.
somebody said, is it a prison that they're building, you know, where the White House is at? And that's not funny. It may end up becoming one.
Well, y'all didn't know that they are building in Florida and other places FEMA camps right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people
Didn't they say that
Hitler was, you know, Nazism was bad?
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead and mark that
coming
box
in
off.
the end times is not, it's just child's play for what's coming.
I think there's
And
probably
people
20
need to be physically, emotionally, spiritually ready. Because
Well, like
it's coming down the pipe.
Like I've said on my channel, not only should you prep for your food, your water, your power, but you should also prep your soul, you know.
Yeah, I think there's probably 20 keywords that will get you demonetized or a video taken down here. I think we've hit them all at least twice.
Oh. Well,
See,
I'm with the biblical Animal Farm, and we're also God's Holy Saints Ministry, Merle and Deborah Como channel as well. Plus, we're Shema Martial Arts.
Somebody is asking, what do you folks think about Biden's position on Israel?
Biden's a crock.
Yeah, if Biden had his way about it, he would reverse what Trump did by moving the embassy to Israel. You know, I mean, he's going to make an enemy of Israel, plain and simple.
I think Trump
Obama was doing it.
Yeah, I'm thinking Trump isn't only the president that in history has ever not only moved the embassy, but also gained peace in the Middle East, which, I mean, if you read the Bible, it's in there. However, we know that the peace isn't going to last. You know, eventually there will be a great war.
Yeah.
You didn't know that they're now amping up the, anytime around February, they're saying that their Messiah is coming in on a space machine, and they've got to speed up the building on the third temple now.
That's crazy.
It's going on.
Well,
all the signs of the times and the end of the age is here, man.
Well, the Bible says no man will know the appointed time of Christ's arrival. So, you know, I mean, throughout the centuries, people have thought that it was the end of times. I mean, you know, even the apostles in the time that they were living in, they thought it was the end of times. We may not be in the end of times yet. We may still have time to further on down the road before it actually happens. You know, but I mean, yes, there are a lot of signs, but there were a lot of signs back then too that Christ was going to be coming back. You know, so I mean, that's the whole point. Is we're not supposed to know, but we are supposed to make ourselves ready. And this is from a man that is I am no longer a practicing Christian or anything like that. Yes, I'm still an ordained minister, but I do not practice because organized religion and me do not get along. They removed me from the pulpit because I preached against their sins.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, they hate that in 2021.
I called out the deacons of the church on some of their sins, like adultery and embezzlement from the church and stuff like that. And they didn't care for it, so they voted me out. Of course, when I left, 3/4 of the congregation was right behind me. So they closed their doors 3 months later.
Well, I've been in front of Satan churches, Buddhist temples, Muslim places. You know, I was in Houston Spring, Texas, when they had that big Satan church come popping in the place. I've been in 45 states.
The commandments.
5 years time. I mean, I go around, I evangelize. I try to tell people that they need to wake up. But you know what? Everybody does their own thing. Some people want to keep the world and keep God in their back pocket.
I mean, that's what I keep on my...
As wise as a serpent and as gentle as a dove, use this thing he gave you, the gray matter in that on your shoulders, and know how to prep, know how to take care of your family. Don't live on man, because man ain't gonna give you anything that they want to give you little nitpicks like we're supposed to eat worms and lab grown meat. I mean,
yeah, it's not even really meat. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows. It's
fungus. They're talking about. They're saying they're going to grow from fungus, is from what I heard.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Well, you know, John the Baptist lived off of locusts and honey and milk.
Blows us up.
Old 60, he
Hurt the
prepared for everything,
environment.
but he wasn't prepared
Bill
for the
Gates.
asylum tonight. So they're like,
Well, we all got off on a religious tangent here, didn't we?
I found a website. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. There's a military friend of mine, too, that I showed him this website. Here, I'll show you guys real quick on my... It's right here. Have you guys ever heard of Deagle? Deagle.com. It shows a lot of our military information. It's also showing, like, right here, our population, which is 333 million. Well, if you click on this and then click on forecast, this is forecasted for 2025. They're saying right here for America, all of our population is going to drop down to 99 million. Like, they're planning something. Nobody's ever seen this website before, and I found it a while back.
Wow.
It's called Deagle. You guys can go to it, Deagle.com. It shows all the countries around the whole world.
Well, see, that's from the shot. That's how they're depopulating. They're giving you a shot.
Yeah, this is a plan. It's all a plan. I mean, it's nuts.
If I remember right, ones like Gates has been talking about too much population in the world for several years now, and trying to figure out how to fix that.
Deagle, brother?
It's
DEA GEL.com.
Deagle.com. Okay.
DEAGEL.com. Deagle.
Okay.
Yeah, I was showing even a friend of mine. He was been in the military for 20 years, and I showed him this website, and he said, "You know, out of everything I've seen and known, I've never seen that website before." So I even blew his mind away too.
Well, brother, if you look at Georgia Guidestones, it'll tell you exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
And this, Noahide law thing that they're trying to say that if you're not Israeli, if you're not Talmudic, Kabbalah type thing, you have to go, you're not allowed to go but by the 7 Noahide laws, which it sounds real good until you look at what's underneath each individual one. So, I mean, us right now, I bought some chicken about 6 months ago from the store, and it's got purple blood, purple meat, purple bone marrow, and purple bones. No, thank you.
I don't think I'd want to eat
We
that.
grow our own chickens. We grow our own goat milk, our own eggs, our own goats, turkeys,
Well, see, that purple chicken would go great with that green fish that I pulled out.
See, it's 2021. Everything tastes like chicken, but chicken.
Right? Oh, Lordy.
And now everything at the store is going up in price, even here in our small city. I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they made the point earlier.
Did y'all
I
ever
haven't
think
thought it
about
through.
that explosion that they had in that one city where the gas pipes exploded? Which
You're talking about Lebanon.
Yes, which is not natural. No, right here in the United States. There was a gas pipe that went through this woman's yard area, and she felt the flash of it. But when it was frozen, usually these gas pipes won't break like that. It's like a petroleum piping. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to be going all electrical, no more gas, no more petroleum. Everything's supposed to be electric cars and trucks. And then all of a sudden, he shuts down the pipeline. And then this explosion happens, which this city lived off of the energy of, you know, the fossil fuel and stuff.
Well, most
So-
of the U.S. is still dependent on fossil fuels. I mean, you're never going to get down to a net zero. Sorry about that, but it's just not going to happen. I mean, it is not dependable energy. Solar, wind, hydro, they are not dependable. The wind isn't always blowing. The sun isn't always shining.
Yeah, but do you think the government and them really care? I mean, they don't act like they care about us Americans as it is anyways.
Yeah, that's their whole point. I mean, that's one of the reasons that they want to depopulate, though, too, is because the less of us that are here, the easier it'll be to sustain those energy sources. You know,
since you brought it up, man, I got to ask.
Who is essential and is non-essential.
What's the thought that you guys have when it comes to Texas and Ted Cruz being in Cancun?
I could care less. Probably, man, if he got it. If he got down there and got warmed up, hey, that's all good. He's not the one in charge of the state.
I mean, if I was rich too, I mean, wouldn't you guys? I mean, you'd say, "Screw it, I'm getting out of here if you can."
Yeah. To be fair,
he's not the one responsible for the state.
If it would have been Gavin Newsom or something, we'd be roasting him right now at steak.
But see, that's the thing is Cruz is a senator. He's not a governor or anything like that. Whereas Newsom's a governor of California. You know, now if the governor of Texas would have went during an emergency, then there'd be a problem. But I don't see the problem with the senator.
It's these rich people. They don't care, man. They live by a different set of rules. All of them, I think. You know.
Yep.
They just live by a different set of rules. They're not eating bug burgers. They're not eating the lab-grown meats. They're not
yet.
They want us to do.
Not yet.
They'll never eat those things. They will never eat those things because they are the elite. They have access to all of that, whereas the rest of us won't. You know.
Unless we get a hold of them and force feed them.
There was an old comedian, George Carlin, said, "It's a club and you ain't in it."
Exactly.
It's just like they say 6% of the population is from cows farting. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they lost me with that one. Who was that AOC that was talking about that? The cow fart?
Bill Gates.
Yeah, they want to put emission control on cows now. Huh?
It's like, I can fix the country. I just need $5,000 trillion.
I think AOC just needs to go back to bartending and shut her mouth. Personal pain.
You know, she couldn't even mix a drink either. So, I mean. Oh, man. We need to totally overhaul our entire government and reset it back to what it's supposed to be. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, we have gotten so far away from the Constitution. I mean, you can't even see it with the Hubble telescope.
Yeah, I agree. The problem is we're so far away from it, and the people that can legally put it back where it's supposed to be are all rich and compromised.
Yep.
And they're working for Wall Street, and they're working for China, and they're working for Russia or whoever.
All sellouts.
I think if everybody was going to have an opportunity to do it, we had it on the 6th. There was so many people there. If every person would have not left their firearm and actually took it with them and took over the Capitol, and I mean everybody in full force, we would have had it. But it's true. This is my opinion. I'm not saying that we're going to, or we're going to go out there and do it now. I'm not saying let's go create an insurrection. But if they would have that day, then we would have taken over. But,
didn't you pay attention to the impeachment hearings? According to all those Democrats, everybody there was loaded to the teeth.
And they weren't, because even the mayor said to leave your weapons behind, and everybody did. Everybody was following the law.
Brian Keith, he's like, I ain't worried about no men in black.
Nah, I ain't worried about it. Actually, I got cameras all around my house, so.
What do y'all guys think about the Mr. Pencil Pusher trying to get rid of Part 1 and Part 2 of the Constitution?
So now, I've got cameras all over my neighborhood.
Really?
I was saying, what do you guys think about Mr. Pencil Pusher executive order runner trying to get rid of, the Constitution of 1 and 2?
Well, Trump signed him when he first got in office, but Joe hadn't stopped. He's been signing them since he walked in the door.
Bang, bang.
I mean, he's gonna have to, if he tries to take away the first and second, you're still gonna have the court challenges. And right now, as it stands, we do have a conservative majority there. So I don't really see him being able to just make an executive order and do away with them, because there's too many people that'll challenge that.
See, this is what I was saying. I've got cameras. This is cameras on every corner of my house right now outside, so I'll be able to see them coming down the block.
Hey, Brian King, the law said you either got to pull the mic away from your mouth a little bit, or you're going to have to say, "What are you doing, Maverick? We don't have the fuel for this." Little Top Gun reference there.
Does that sound better?
Yeah,
okay. Probably my volume is a little too high.
See, most of the people in my community are members of my mag. Okay, I have, like down at the end of my street is my niece's house. I have cameras mounted on her house using her Wi-Fi, and I can check on her, the entire neighborhood just through my phone and see what's going on.
There you go.
I mean, I've got cameras at all of my friends' houses running off their Wi-Fi. It's an encoded signal it's 32-bit encryption, so I'm the only one that can log into it. But like they have cameras on my property as well, running off my Wi-Fi, so they can keep an eye on the entire community. So if you come into my community and try to grab a kid, we're going to have you at like 50 different angles.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what all my cameras are right here. They're all wireless, and it's all recording.
Everything backs up to the cloud, too. So,
my question, one serious question I had for y'all guys. What do you think about the situation that people that are awake to the knowledge of all this garbage about the poop to hit the fan, that they, to get, if you know what I mean by underground, not literally under the ground, but, meeting up with others that,
like trafficking?
No, preppers.
She's talking.
She's
talking more like railroad idea.
People that colonize together, people that know this person, that know that person, that know that person, as a group. You know what I mean? Getting to know those people that they can trust.
I still get emails regularly, people cursing, saying that we're pushing fear porn and SHTF's never going to happen. I'm like, dude, we're in it now.
Right.
How much more do you need, man? Do you need aliens walking around? Well, I mean, what do you need?
All those people laughing last week were, all the people laughing at us all last week were all crapping their pants when it hit the fan down there in Texas. They're all probably thinking, damn, I should have listened.
They'll be laughing again in 2 weeks, once all this is over.
Well, there's always, every other week, there's a new crisis in this country. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen that yesterday there was a 4.3 magnitude earthquake in Oklahoma that also rocked Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas. I'm in Hutchinson, right north of Wichita.
Yeah, see, I mean, it's always something new. Next, it's going to be one of our super volcanoes is going to be becoming active or something. I mean, it's not going to stop. It's just that they got to keep you in fear so that they can keep you under control.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is part of the earthquakes in diverse places, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know that Oklahoma had a fault line.
My husband has always been trying to get a community together. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Like a mag?
Well, I've got a video on that. Go to my page and look. It's how to create a mag. I've got a rather large mag myself. We're an entire community, so I mean,
yes.
Go and check it out. It gives you great ideas on how to start it up, how to fund it, and everything.
But aren't you guys in the
But
country?
you have to find those people. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
But
you
you
got
can
to start
trust.
local with friends and family that you already know, and then when you start bringing strangers in, you got to learn how to vet them properly. Right? The vetting process is very important, and I give tips on how to vet people that you're bringing into your mag.
Well, what is your name? I can't really see it because it's on my phone.
It's We the People Prepping.
Okay. I'm gonna put in the private chat. I'm gonna give you our number if you want to give us a ring-a-ding. Maybe you can discuss that with my husband.
Well, just go to my page and have them email me. I don't really like to give out my number to anybody. There's very few people that have my number. But my email's on there. I respond back to every email. So.
Yeah, I've got a website too that all you need is somebody's phone number. I can figure out where you're at, everything.
Yeah, I get tracked bad enough as a truck driver. I mean, they got GPS in my truck, and the GPS on your phone, and I mean, there ain't nowhere I go that they don't know where I'm at.
They probably even know when you're in the bathroom too. Who knows?
Well, they got cameras in the truck facing me. I cover them up with tape.
Nanobite spinach now that can tell you if anybody's around.
See, We the People, I would just mess with them. I would get like a werewolf mask at the store and just be wearing it. Maybe like this dude done lost his mind.
Halloween time, I did full zombie makeup and drove down the road like that. So I got a lot of honks and a lot of weird looks from little kids and stuff, But hey, it was fun, I even had a bullet hole right in the dead center of my head, Oh,
damn.
Okay, he's trying to look you up now. It's called We the People, brother.
We the People Prepping.
We the People Prepping, dear.
Somebody just said you need to wear a Michael Myers mask off the movie Halloween. Just wear that every day.
My number is public, so it's in the private chat, guys. Right. By the way, Prepper Nation, brother.
Yes.
Keep on We the People Prepper. We the People Prepper. Yes.
Prepping. Prepping.
Prepping.
It's We the People Prepping.
I think I've got it.
Yeah.
Got George Washington in the middle there.
George Washington in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just stopped for a minute. I'm going to put on the
We just subbed you.
Put on the notification.
Anyway, what I was going to say to you, Prepper Nation PN, basically, I share your videos all the time. We watch your things, and we're just praying for your family. And all you guys on here, we pray for your families. And keep yourselves safe and, keep prepping and, keep your faith.
Going to be a lot of prayers.
Don't never let go, no matter how hard it gets, okay?
Thank you. Yeah, I probably got an email from Google right now.
There's a lot more coming before the end.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Secret Service.
I'm gonna let y'all guys go, but I just wanted to get on here to let you know that don't give up, and even the people that are watching, don't give up. Never give up, because things are coming. That it is harder times are coming. There ain't no going back to normal anymore. This is the new norm.
Oh, I hate
what your life was before is over. We've got to learn how to survive, and that's what prepping is now.
Well,
and I pray for everybody out there that's hurting right now.
Say Noah did it. God told Noah to prep, and quite a few others in the Bible. So,
God bless y'all.
God bless you too.
Have a good one.
So 6-shooter, are you awake up there, man? Or are you sleeping with your eyes open?
No, I haven't mastered that art yet.
You hadn't moved in like 30 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you, you want to master that art, become homeless. You learn to sleep with one eye open quick.
One eye open.
So yeah, I guess we got about 6 minutes. Anybody in the lobby that has any questions whatsoever? I know the moderators have been plugging all y'all's channels.
That's cool. I appreciate it too. My channel could definitely use help, and in the future, I do plan on making live videos and more videos, guys. I haven't been doing many on my channel lately. I'm also a caregiver for my wife. She had a stroke, an aneurysm, in 2019, so I've had to become her guardian.
Sorry about that, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, the Lord's had a miracle because she's still with us, even though the doctor said that there's nothing we can do and she's probably going to die. And next thing you know, she lived through it, and now I help take care of her. So, I mean, but I'm usually a pretty busy person, so I want to make videos and go live, but then it's like when I get the time, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, crap.
Well, man,
I've done 2 live streams so far, and it's usually been kind of late when I did it because we, get the kids to sleep and all that. But a lot of times I'll make videos during the day at work and stuff. I got a pretty laid back job and all, so I get a unique opportunity.
Yeah, I just got to get busy myself.
I make them whenever I can, man. A truck driver, I never know when I'm going to be rolling, when I'm going to be stopped. So just make them when you can, but cherish every moment you got with your wife, man. I know from experience, I lost my second wife, and it's one of the hardest things you'll ever go through in your life. So, just cherish every second that you got with her, no matter what her health.
Well, I think in a way, my personal belief is she was saved in a miracle on purpose because she became saved after she was more coherent and conscious again. Like she was like, well, why am I still here? Or, after she came more out of it. And then, we're watching more, preachers on here on YouTube and stuff like that. And she said, I want to be saved. So
one of my favorite preachers to listen to on YouTube is David Wilkerson.
Don't think I've ever heard of him.
Yeah, look him up.
All right. I've been watching a Legacy Church, Pastor Greg Locke, a few others.
He's a good one. Yeah, he's a good conservative Christian.
As long as it's not like Joel Osteen or something.
No.
Oh,
no,
Lord, no.
No.
Yeah, the mega church.
I think the mega church. What you guys thought about that? The whole mega church. Not just him, but I'm not in love with the concept of having this huge immaculate church. That all of this money's been spent on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. So, you don't have to have this huge, massive church.
Yeah.
As long as you have a small congregation of people and you are all worshiping and reading and studying on the Word of God, it doesn't matter if it's in your home, your backyard, your RV, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
That as long as you guys are gathered in God's name and doing what God's asking, He's going to be there.
And speaking the true word, I mean, I've heard a few of these places and preachers twisting a word so that way they can get more people to their church. I'm like, that's bearing false witness. They're breaking a commandment already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was once a sin is no longer a sin,
Yeah.
and all that. I mean, it's gotten out of hand. I mean, the church has gone to the left. They're accepting all of everything and saying, well, it's okay if you do this or that. I mean, you can get into bestiality even, and they're going to tell you, oh yeah, you're good as long as you say I'm sorry.
Let me mark that off on the bingo card.
Yeah, they find some kind of way. They find some kind of way to justify everything. But I was lucky enough to find a small, true believing church, and it's home.
Yep. Yeah, you don't need a large congregation. Just a few people, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, a person I was having a discussion with too the other day was trying to say, "Oh, well, I can be gay and still be saved and stuff." And I had to read to them It's Second Corinthians. I can't remember the verse in the chapter, but I remember in there it's saying that no homosexuality, no nothing can meet the gates.
Leviticus.
I was like, apparently, yeah. I was like, apparently, you need to read your Bible, or your preacher is I don't know what he's teaching you.
Yeah, you got to be careful what verses you talk about here because, you know, the LGBTQ has a lot of pull with YouTube and all that. So you may have just got John canceled here.
Oops, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm a spiritual type of person, I guess you could say. Sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble.
Well, not in my book, maybe YouTube's, I don't know. But so we're gonna wrap it up. But guys, all three of you have a channel. There's still a lot of people in chat. If you would just take turns and explain to people in the chat what your channel's about. So you know, maybe they'll subscribe to you.
No, who wants to start?
Well, my name's John. I'm a Virgo, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so.
Well, if anybody subs to my channel, it's prepping, but I do have a few videos where I've tried to have a little bit of ministry to people about the word. So, I mean, my grandmother just told me even when I was younger that I should have either been a lawyer or a minister. So, I've been trying to do some ministering, and here lately I even looked into becoming ordained too, like you were talking that you were too. The people. But I mean, I do have prepper videos. Yeah, I do have prepper videos, but I'm doing a little bit of ministry too. So I'm thinking about maybe splitting them and getting another channel, or just saying, you know what, screw it. If YouTube knocks me off, it wouldn't be the first time because I'm on my 6th Facebook now, and I keep coming back just to bother the liberals. So, so I'll just make another.
On my channel,
yeah.
My channel's pretty much talk about prepping. I try to give you ideas on things to do. I talk about my personal life and things that I've been through to try to help people that might be going through something similar. You know, I get political as well on my channel. I mean, I cover pretty much all the bases that YouTube don't like. So, yeah.
Well, I'm an up-and-coming rapper.
Are you now?
No, not really. Banjo player maybe, but usually mine is homestead stuff with some prepping and advice and things like that. And I got some different videos of logging the job I do, cutting trees and different things like that. And I have some on there of music, playing guitar and banjo, and some of the, you know, all of us at church when we get time to get together. And I've got a couple of videos on there that's more, you know, Christian ministry based, things like that, some Bible reading. But I need to make some more of those, but I hadn't yet. But that's basically what I got going on.
Yeah, I think we do need to make more ministry. I mean, from reading the word, you know, we need to reach everybody as much as we can. Even, and we're going to make enemies along the way. Of course, there's people that don't want to hear it, but there's going to be many people that do want to hear it. You know.
Yeah. All right, John. What's your channel about?
What's my channel about? All kinds of stuff that Google hates. Apparently.
Now that you got Brian on here, right?
They're on me night and day.
I have to have a 6-shooter come on my channel and play dueling banjos when my wife's out there. She hates that because after she watched Deliverance, you know, the dueling banjos just creeps her out. Like when she's on the truck with me and we'd be going through West Virginia or whatever, I'd play dueling banjos and she'd start freaking out, looking around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Grimm's second favorite movie.
I didn't say that, Graham. He's still in here. I didn't say it.
Squeal like a pig for me, boy.
Kay Marie is in the house. Thank you for joining us 2 hours and 4 minutes in, Kay Marie. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. I see you walking in.
Late as usual.
Well, guys, I appreciate you folks being over here. It was an awesome chat. I'm going to go back after I film the premiere for in the morning. I'm going to go back and read through all the chat because I missed a bunch of it. But I appreciate you guys being on here. I knew as soon as I seen We the People in the green room and James was up here, I said, it's about to be on now.
And then you're probably thinking, who's this Prepper Brian guy?
James was anti-Trump and pro-Clinton. He voted for Clinton. And I didn't realize it. He was over here one day admitting it. And I'm like, oh, my God. So, yeah. The least body's in the middle.
If people out there want to find my channel, the channel name is the same as my name on here, Prepper Brian. So it's pretty easy to find.
I appreciate you having me here tonight, John.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, sir.
Liz Rambo, Kay Marie, and I are fashionably late. Well, you guys are always fashionable. Thank you very much for that. I can't disagree with that. All right, folks. Take care. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody that's been on here, and God bless, folks.